Has that door always been like that?
I don't know. I don't mark it.
Do you mind, if I check it out?
Yeah.
Do you mind coming with?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to hold hands?
Yeah, sure.
Jake Johnson is, to most people, that guy from New Girl, a place where his affable but slightly madcap persona was able to shine through. Perhaps you also know him as the guy from that movie you liked. Which one? You don't remember the name. The point is that most of us seem to like Johnson. He's rarely the best thing in anything he's in, but he's never the worst either. So when it was announced after South by Southwest 2023 that Hulu and Neon had respectively acquired the rights to stream and theatrically release his directorial debut, I think most people were either unaware it was happening or vaguely optimistic. Self-Reliance, penned by Johnson during the COVID-19 pandemic, is, in his own words, a mixture of Bottle Rockets and Jacob's Ladder. So that's a mixture of a reality-questioning thriller horror-ish thing with a whimsical Wes Anderson road movie for the uninitiated, I think. And you can kind of see what he's driving at as the premise of the movie reveals itself. Johnson, in the lead as Tommy, is a down-on-his-luck guy who is so afraid of being hurt again after a painful breakup that he has shut himself off from all but the most perfunctory of human contact. Enter a shady dark web game show who offer him $1 million if he is able to avoid their enthusiastic but malevolent hunters for a month. The one caveat being that they aren't allowed to kill him if he's in the company of someone else. So you can sort of see the pieces clicking into place within that structure. Man who has lost the ability to engage with other people must now do so in order to win a big prize and change life. Maybe find love along the way? Who knows? It's a fun premise. But I got the unshakable sense that Johnson didn't really know how to make the most of this premise once it came to writing a full screenplay. It's funny in the way that most of his work usually is, but it never really leans into becoming a proper farce. Instead, it tries to balance its tone between the comedic and the serious and ends up not really striking either particularly well. The thriller sections aren't particularly well directed, so you never get much tension from them, and they're undercut by the comedy, which isn't dark enough to work in this context. Even the well-worn plot beat of the main character's friends and family deciding that the whole murder game show thing is just another in a long line of cries for attention from a damaged and challenging individual goes pretty much entirely unexplored. It's mentioned, played for laughs, and then not really ever mentioned again until the very end of the film. Though I will give Self-Reliance its due here, as it loses its way as a thriller, it finds itself in almost romantic comedy territory, which is far more familiar footing for Jake Johnson and Anna Kendrick, who is the sort of semi-romantic interest in this movie. The middle third, which focuses on those two characters, is light and fun, and honestly feels like it's from a different movie for the most part. But I enjoyed watching these two characters spend lots of time together. And I appreciate that Johnson was willing to go back to what he knows in order to keep the movie afloat. Especially that he was able to do that while still remaining faithful to the character themes he'd established earlier in the movie of loneliness and isolation. The way that Self-Reliance plays off of those themes in that semi-romantic middle third really worked for me. Unfortunately, Kendrick, like Mary Holland, who plays Tommy's sister, I think, is criminally underutilized. She's better than she gets to show here, and I think it's testimony to her charisma and skill as a performer that she's able to create such a likeable, believable character with relatively little screen time. But exploring a character other than Tommy is, to be fair, not Johnson's goal here. The plot is solipsistic by design. We need to see everything through his eyes, and that means losing characters as they drift out of his immediate worldview. Though that doesn't mean I or anyone else in the audience needs to like the lack of decent supporting characters for much of the movie. Likewise, I didn't enjoy much of anything towards the end of Self-Reliance either. Johnson doesn't really seem to know how he wants to land the plane, so to speak, and the end result is this muddled mess of not very compelling chase sequences and an ending so aimless that it honestly would have been less annoying if Tommy had woken up to reveal that the entire movie had been a dream. With all that said, there are still moments within Self-Reliance that made me chuckle. If Johnson's brand of humour when he's writing his own jokes is something you enjoy, then you'll get plenty of it here. I can't promise that it makes for the best viewing experience, but the humour is present at least, which is more than I can say for the skill to deliver the tension this premise required.